Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 205. This show is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. We'll actually hear from ASUS today, in fact. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. We have a stellar show planned for you this hour and another $100 Hotels.com digital gift card giveaway, which I'll tell you more about in a moment if you want to grab something to jot down a website, your phone or pen and paper or what have you. We'll get to that in a minute. On today's Tech It Out, we'll kick things off with ASUS, as I mentioned, as we'll learn about its new ExpertBooks. These are business laptops coming out next month. You're going to hear it here first, a bit of a sneak peek at what's coming very soon. Also on the show today, we'll learn about a platform called WhereiPark. It connects those with parking spots available to rent with those looking for a spot to rent. And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, join the club. You're in good company for what it's worth, as tens of millions of Americans have trouble falling or staying asleep. And so we're going to chat with Wesper this hour about its new sleep kits that work with your smartphone. Okay, I wanted to tell you about that giveaway from Hotels.com. It's a $100 digital gift card to use towards a future stay in a hotel. Head over to my website, which is simply marksaltzman.com. That's marksaltzman.com. That's my website, and send me a note with the phrase Tech It Out in the subject line. You can shoot me an email right from there. You have to be a U.S. resident and at least 18 years of age. A name will be randomly drawn next week and announced on the show and on social media as well. Speaking of social media, if you prefer to enter the giveaway on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, you can also send me a note with the phrase Tech It Out. All right, good luck. Again, my website is marksaltzman.com. And congratulations to the winner from 2 weeks ago, Kim Wood from Oklahoma. She won the last $100 giveaway from Hotels.com. And speaking of the company, a little birdie told me something big is coming to the Hotels.com app this week. So be sure to download the app and subscribe to push notifications so you don't miss out. And get ready to book your next trip. Yes, booking a vacation can feel dramatic if you've seen their last Captain Obvious commercial, which I love, but you can't go wrong with Hotels.com. With flexible booking options, thousands of accommodation choices, and free cancellations, you can book your vacation without having to worry if your plans change. Plus, when you book with Hotels.com, you can earn rewards wherever you stay. Download the free app today. Okay, as promised, let's officially kick off Tech It Out with our first interview with ASUS. What should you look for when you're buying a new laptop for work? Are these features any different than a device for fun? Or maybe there are laptops for both productivity and entertainment. If you are looking for a new business-grade PC, primarily, we're going to learn what's coming next month with ASUS and the company's ExpertBooks line of PCs. We're joined by Beca Truong from ASUS. Welcome back to the show, Beca. Hope your summer's going great so far.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be here, and I'm excited to share more about our ExpertBooks.
Yeah, awesome. So this is a line that I'm pretty familiar with, but we're going to get like an early peek at what's coming in August from the ExpertBook line. Before we talk about business laptops, though, tell us a bit about the company, maybe just a bit of a refresher on ASUS.
Definitely. So at ASUS, we're all about creating innovative technologies and hardware for, improving our day-to-day lives. You might know us from our Republic of Gamers gaming line, which includes, gaming motherboards, graphics cards, but we also are known for our monitors and PC components for consumers from laptops, desktops, phones, and a lot of other personal smart devices like routers. And our products actually cater to a lot of different use cases, whether you're, an everyday casual user, a hardcore gamer, or even a creative or business professional. We definitely have a product out there for you.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got your computers, laptops, and desktops, your external accessories and internal components, and then you've got your mobile products like smartphones and tablets and smartwatches and the like. And as you mentioned, not just for productivity, but you even have a complete division called ROG, or Republic of Gamers, designed specifically for interactive entertainment seekers. So lots of variety. And speaking of which, when it comes to laptops, aside from the ROG line of gaming gear, you have other categories, if I'm not mistaken. There's the ZenBooks, VivoBooks, and what we're going to learn about today, ExpertBooks. Is that right? Maybe you can give us a 101 on each of those divisions.
Yep, that's right. So, as you said, from our lineup of Windows-based laptops using, for example, Windows 10, we have our VivoBooks, ZenBooks, and ExpertBooks. And these kind of fill the niche from, everyday work and entertainment to, a companion for your creative endeavors or even just for your workday, for example, for our ExpertBooks. Just to provide some further background, our VivoBooks are a great choice for someone looking for an everyday laptop, just watching videos, streaming services, and just as an everyday work and entertainment device. I definitely recommend our VivoBooks.
With a lot of style too, lots of different colors to choose from.
Right. Yeah. We definitely, put an emphasis on that and creating something that's very customizable and, very catered to people looking for something unique.
Fashion meets function.
Definitely. And then for our ZenBooks, those are our more premium notebooks. They really have a lot of cutting edge features. For example, some of our latest models have vibrant OLED screens or OLED screens, and these look really great whether you're watching a video. They also offer things like a lightweight form factor, top tier performance, and it's actually a great choice for anyone looking for a business laptop or just someone looking for something they can, hold on to for many years and have it still be very premium and up to date. And lastly, ExpertBooks are our business class laptops. They're really designed for those who travel often, but also great for remote workers or office workers. It's a really great portable option. They actually offer extra durability in terms of the actual chassis or case. And they're actually IT friendly as well. So for those looking for a business ready laptop, it's a great choice.
And we are going to learn about the ExpertBook B1 line, the B1 400 and the B1 500 in a moment. So as you said, Becca, when you are looking for a business grade laptop with ASUS, they're called ExpertBooks. You said IT friendly and all that. So like more security, is that a priority? Are they lighter? Because, it's assumed, especially now that we're opening up again, thankfully, people are traveling more. Do they have more power to run more business grade applications? Is it kind of like all of the above?
Yeah, definitely. As mentioned before, we really aim to make something that can cater to a lot of different workflows, whether you're someone who's traveling a lot or expecting to travel a lot in the near future, or if you're just working from home and want to kind of take your laptop on the go sometimes to a cafe. It's really built for people who just need top-notch performance everywhere they go. I guess in a business laptop, you can typically expect more security features like you mentioned, for example, biometric login, which uses your unique body characteristics like your face or your fingerprint to log you into your laptop. Some other features that you can expect include more storage for storing all your files. I know we download a lot from day to day. Processing power just to keep you, on task and, responsive when you're working with multiple programs, and other things like a lot of input ports when you're plugging in an extra monitor or two, or, an additional external mouse or keyboard. And then finally, I think the last thing a lot of us look for is just more battery life, something you don't have to keep tethered to a nearby outlet. That's really important for any business travelers. And the other thing is connectivity, making sure you have great Wi-Fi everywhere you go and making sure that's really fast, that keeps up with your day-to-day work.
We are chatting with Beca Truong from ASUS. We're learning about the new ExpertBooks line of laptops to be introduced by the company in August. So without further ado, Becca, let's hear about the ExpertBook B1 400 and the ExpertBook B1 500.
Yeah, we're really excited to debut these laptops. As I said, they really kind of fulfill every niche that business users are looking for in their next laptop. So the ExpertBook B1 400 and the ExpertBook B1 500 are two of our latest entries in the ExpertBook lineup. And they're really tailored for business users, both on the go and for remote and office workers, basically everything in between. The features I mentioned before, these experts offer, great all-around performance, whether you're multitasking or using one very graphics-intensive program, for example. They also offer things like battery life all day, so you don't have to stay tethered to the nearest outlet. Lots of storage for all of your files, military-grade durability, so it's very ready for travel or just kind of, you can throw it in your backpack and not really worry about it getting scratched or dented. There's also security features like a fingerprint sensor, webcam privacy shield, so you can easily just toggle that over your webcam when you're not using it, and a lot more. And I guess the final thing is just really the lightweight form factor. So this is perfect for someone who just likes to grab and go. The other thing I want to cover is just the difference between the two models. So we offer the 15.6-inch ExpertBook B1 500, which includes a traditional numpad on the keyboard, or you can opt for the smaller 14-inch B1 400, which includes our ASUS number badge touchpad technology, which transforms the touchpad, which we use for a mouse, into a number pad with just one button press.
That's really cool. So I remember when that debuted in the ZenBook line of laptops. Isn't that called ScreenPad?
Yeah, exactly. Similar idea, just kind of maximizing the use of your touchpad for different functions. So in this case, actually just be into a numeric keypad that you can use for data entry or, any accounting kind of functions.
And I really am blown away at how thin these ExpertBooks are, because traditionally there's a trade-off. Like if you want a lot of power, they're generally thicker and bulkier laptops. But it sounds like it ticks all the boxes when it comes to the performance that you want, yet it's still thin and light.
Yeah, we really wanted to build a device that caters to people looking for both in their next business laptop.
And so, Becca, as we wrap up, these are not available until next month, so I know there's no pricing announced yet, but is there a dedicated website?
Yeah, you can just head over to our main website, which is asus.com/US, which is asus.com/US, and that will have a lot of our latest ExpertBooks, for example, in addition to any other products that we've just announced or that you can take a look at.
Awesome. So asus.com/US, and then you'll see the ExpertBook as a tab to get right to the business laptops. Always great to chat with you, Becca. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your summer, and I'm excited to test drive the ExpertBooks in person.
Thanks so much, Mark, for having me.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. It's been said good technology solves a problem. With that in mind, there are countless businesses that have vacant parking spots on their property, and there are many commuters who need to find parking. Enter WhereiPark. It's an online marketplace that connects those who have parking spots to rent monthly with those looking for one, and it's available in several North American cities. Joining us on the line to chat is Jeremy Zucker, co-founder of WhereiPark. Thanks for your time, Jeremy. Good to chat with you.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So why don't we start at a high level? Tell us what WhereiPark is all about. It's spelled W-H-E-R-E, small I, capital P-A-R-K, and it is all one word, WhereiPark.
Yeah, exactly. So WhereiPark is a marketplace for monthly parking. And what we do is we work with real estate owners and managers across North America, and we take their excess parking capacity, and then we make it available through our platform to consumers who need monthly parking. So that could be individuals, fleets, companies who have a need for monthly parking. And through our platform, we make it really easy to find, book, and mostly save money on your monthly parking. And we're available across North America.
Oh, cool. So it sounds like a win-win. You're taking these excess spots, so you're providing some cash to those who own the spots, a way to monetize those unused spots. And then for those who are looking to rent monthly parking spots for themselves are saving as well.
Exactly. So we always think of it as a win-win as we build our marketplace. We certainly have the demand side, and we want those people to win not only by saving money in their parking, but also being able to find locations that are unavailable elsewhere, and obviously making it a really easy process for them. And then on the other side, on what we call our supply side, these are our real estate partners. It's exactly what you said. So they have this concrete usually sitting underground below their buildings, and they can turn that concrete into a revenue stream, which is great for them, very high margin for them because they're typically not doing anything else with it.
Okay, got it. So could you walk us through, Jeremy, how it works? Like maybe paint us a sample scenario for someone looking for a parking spot and what they do in order to find one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've done our best to make it a really easy process. And so you go to whereipark.com, you just enter the address where you're looking for parking, and then our application will show you which options are available nearby. And if you find something nearby, I can give you all the information about it. You can click, and then through a pretty simple e-commerce type of flow, you can reserve your parking, and then you get set up, approved to park there, and you can continue to park there on a monthly basis. Your payment will be on file, and then whenever you're ready to finish, you can just let us know through logging in or by sending us an email or calling us, and we can set an end date for you. So that's really how easy it is. And then the other thing I'll say is if we don't have something available, we also allow people to set themselves up for what we call a wait list. And that way they can be notified whenever new inventory becomes available in the area that they're looking for.
Yeah, got it. Cool. And just to clarify, as you said earlier, Jeremy, this is monthly parking. So it's not like you're looking to park to go watch a basketball game for the night. Like you're looking so you're looking for monthly parking. Is it for primarily for business purposes, or could it be for residential parking?
Yeah, great question. It's both. So it is only monthly parking that we focus on.
Okay.
And it's both. We have a number of different channels. So one of them, like you said, is business, and that's typically commuters. So so most of our parking is in major urban centers, and these are commuters coming in to the downtown core and parking. We also have a number of people who are using it for residential purposes. So they may have 2 cars, but only one spot with their place of residence. So they need another spot, or maybe they don't have one at all.
On the flip side, if I own a home near, let's say, an urban center, downtown center, and the driveway is mostly vacant, could I use WhereiPark to rent out my driveway?
So we only work with what we would think of as like commercial type supply. Okay. So these would be, so if you owned an apartment building and you had excess capacity, that would be our typical partner. So normally we work with groups that have 5 or more spaces. There are some peer-to-peer applications for parking. Ours is certainly sharing economy related in the sense that if you have an apartment building or a larger amount of supply, that's a perfect fit for our platform.
Got it. You mentioned WhereiPark is available in the US and in Canada. What are some of the major cities that you're in?
There's a list on the website. Really, across the US, in particular, in essentially all the major centers. So we're really big along the West Coast in Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco. We have many spaces in Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia, Boston, where we've been growing in Texas, in Dallas, and Houston. We've been able to find some great supply and help a lot of different people and companies. So really across the major centers.
And in Canada, you're in Toronto?
Yeah, we're in Toronto. Yeah. Okay. So we're based in Toronto, and Toronto's a relatively big city for us in terms of our supply.
Of course.
We have a few spaces that we've worked with in Calgary and Ottawa and Montreal, but it's safe to say Toronto is the only material place in Canada that we focus on.
And speaking of San Francisco, Jeremy, I understand you just acquired a company called Monkey Parking. Congrats. Tell us about the acquisition. They're in the Bay Area, right?
Thanks. Yeah, they're based in San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, this was a company that's been around for many years. They changed their model a couple of times, and they're doing something similar to what we are, but a little bit more of a software platform to help their real estate partners to monetize their parking.
Okay.
And been in touch with them for a while. We actually had nearly completed a deal right before COVID hit, but things got put on hold for just over a year. And, really it's our objective as a company is to continue growing and adding supply and demand. So this acquisition helps us on both sides. They have some real estate partners, and those buildings have been joining our platform, and the associated people who are parking there are also coming into our platform. And we think we'll be able to generate even more revenue for those buildings as they become part of our platform. Paulo over at Monkey Parking is a great guy, so really a pleasure to work with.
We'll continue chatting with WhereiPark right after this. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Jeremy Zucker. He is co-founder of WhereiPark. This is an online platform, a marketplace that connects those who own parking spaces with those looking for them for monthly parking. Jeremy, do you expect an uptick in users for WhereiPark as more people are returning to the office post-pandemic and maybe they're hesitant to use public transit?
Yeah, absolutely. That is something we've definitely seen since really April, and we expect that it's going to continue in a big way, actually. So there's certainly a number of people who we think will continue to work from home, and they have that opportunity, and they've discovered that, and that works. But what we've seen in practice is that as offices begin to open, and we've seen this across the U.S. and as well in Toronto, as offices begin to open, there's more people who actually want to drive. So just like you said, less people want to be on public transit. So we think, so we've seen a huge uptick in the last few months, and we think it'll continue right through the end of the summer is I think when a lot of companies are going to have their new policies in place. And so I think, when we look at it, looking back, I think we're going to see, starting from September, we'll see more people driving to the office and therefore needing monthly parking spaces, which is what we offer, than before, going back to early 2020, than before the lockdown. So there's really been a huge uptick in the market for monthly parking.
And how much does the WhereiPark service cost? Maybe you can walk us through your revenue model. I'm assuming you take a piece of the revenue that you give to those who own the spots.
Yeah, we've always taken the approach that we want to be performance-based. So we only take something in the event that we're successful in generating revenue for those real estate partners. So it's exactly what you said. And we, our agreements are set up in such a way that we have a percentage of what we are able to rent through our platform. And we manage everything, relating to that. So all the payments and customer support and the administration, reporting, everything else happens through our platform.
And for those who are renting the spots, they're not paying anything above and beyond the spot itself, right? You just take a part of that.
Exactly right. So there's no extra charge for individuals or companies or fleets who are using the platform. We find our prices to be very competitive. Our model is to bring in new supply into the market. So we typically do not work with what you would think of as regular commercial operators. We're bringing in new supply into the market. So because of that, we're able to be really competitive on price and offer a lot of value.
Okay, great. And then finally, Jeremy, how do we get going? What's the best website to learn more? And if one of the cities is not supported, for example, Vancouver or Austin, can they submit? Like you talked about a waiting list for a spot, but what about a waiting list for a city?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have that. Austin's a great example. We are active in Austin, but it's a great example because when we started, we work with a lot of companies. So a major tech company who we supply a lot of spaces to in the Seattle area, they were opening an office in Austin. So they said to us, hey, we rent, I forget, 30 or 40 spaces from you in Seattle. Can you help us? We're about to open this office in Austin and we don't have enough parking. So we're able to work with our real estate partners in our network and we were able to find them some great parking in Austin. So that is a way that we actually sometimes go into new cities where we're working with corporations, and as they expand to new places, we can help them go there. And it's so new cities, or even areas of cities where we have a lot of supply, there are some neighborhoods where we may be sold out, and
Sure.
People can certainly ask us. And we're often working with our real estate partners to find new locations and bring new ones online.
Okay.
To give you an example, one of the great use cases is when apartment buildings are just when they're just completed, they go into this lease up phase where their units are being leased out, and as people move in, they slowly will start to use some of the parking. But at the beginning, there's usually almost no one using the parking. So some of these buildings can go for a year or 2 years and have a tremendous amount of excess capacity in their parking garages because people haven't moved in. And so those kinds of buildings, as they're completed, are often, great sources of new supply. And when people need parking, we can work with those kinds of situations.
And then the best website, WhereiPark is not an app. So what's the best website to learn more?
WhereiPark.com.
Jeremy, great to chat with you. Congrats on your successes to date with WhereiPark, and looking forward to seeing you expand even further. Great stuff.
Thank you so much, Mark. Really great chatting with you.
Hey, I know a lot of the Tech It Out listeners know I write a tech tip of the day on social media. And if you want to follow me on any of the major platforms, I think you'd like the little tips that I give. It's Mark Saltzman, Mark with a C, MarCsaltzman. And I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. One tip is that if you have one of those Amazon Echo smart speakers, and I know many of you do, you can now change the voice to a few more celebrities. You may remember Samuel L. Jackson is now an option as your Alexa AI assistant, but now you can also change it to Melissa McCarthy and Shaquille O'Neal. Here's a little clip of Melissa talking about it.
Hey, remember when you said to set that alarm for you? This is the alarm going off. So you've been alarmed.
You get the idea. It's $4.99 for each voice if you want Shaq or Melissa McCarthy or Samuel L. Jackson to convert your Alexa smart speaker into a celebrity personality. Love it. All right. Another tech tip of the day that I showed was if you're on iPhone and you need to quickly share your location, maybe in an emergency situation, or you're simply just trying to connect with your friends now that we're opening up and we're getting out together more and they can't figure out where you are, here's how to share your location right from the iPhone home screen. You press and hold on the Apple Maps icon, and that's called 3D Touch, by the way, and it opens up a couple of quick action options. And one of them is to share your location. So it uses the GPS on your iPhone to quickly share it, and you select with whom you want to share it. So through text or iMessage or email or AirDrop or what have you, it's right there. So that's a great little tip. And one more for you. Did you know that you can set a quick timer in Google just by typing set timer blank minutes? So let's say you're busy doing some work or schoolwork and you've got something in the oven and you want to make sure you're reminded that in 5 minutes to take it out. All you have to do is type something like this into Google, set timer 5 minutes. And then in 5 minutes time, your laptop or desktop or your phone or your tablet or smart display, it's going to beep when that timer runs out to let you know it's time to take something out of the oven. So that's a good one. And of course, if you have a smart assistant like a Siri or a Google Assistant or an Amazon Alexa, you can also just say, set a timer for 5 minutes, but it works just by typing it into any Google search engine as well. And same with math problems, by the way, you can actually type in a math problem right into the Google search window to get results. So those are some ideas of my tech tips of the day, and hope you like them if you want to follow me on social media. I also showed last week how to use your voice to send emails and write in Word documents and Gmail and all that. After all, talking is 2 to 3 times faster than typing. Again, it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. Please say hi on social media, and I hope you like my tech tips of the day. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. For more than 20 years, Dr. Amir Reuveni watched his father struggle with poor sleep. Millions of people, in fact, suffer from bad sleep today. And to make matters worse, due to the lack of easy sleep testing, many never get feedback and support on sleep wellness. This is according to Dr. Reuveni, who's joining us right now on the line to talk with us about Wesper, formerly Tatch. Welcome to the show, Dr. Amir. How are you?
Thanks so much, Mark. Really happy to be here today.
Likewise, good to chat with you. So, as I mentioned in my introduction, it's no secret that a lot of us aren't getting a good night's sleep, but could you quantify that? I mean, is there a percentage of the population in the country that isn't getting a good night's sleep? And I would suspect that this is even more the case today since the start of the pandemic.
You're absolutely correct. It's getting worse as we get more stress and we stay more at home, and our circadian rhythm is kind of mixing. Mm-hmm. The recent stats show that between 50 to 70 million people in the U.S. suffer from sleep deprivation and chronic sleep disorders, starting from insomnia, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, and others. Just from sleep apnea, there are about 30 million people in the U.S. that suffer from the disorder, which of course linked to many other health conditions. Sure. And sleep apnea also affect like 1 billion people globally, according to recent research. So, wow. Sleep is very serious. The CDC even defined it as a public health epidemic a few years ago.
So you're saying, just to clarify, 50 to 70 million people in the U.S. have some sort of sleep issue.
Correct.
Wow, that's a big number. And aside from stress, which makes a lot of sense to me, what are some of the other factors, Dr. Amir, that could impact how fast we fall asleep and how well we stay asleep?
Yeah, obviously. So there are many other issues except stress affecting sleep. There are physiological phenomena that affects our sleep, from how cold is your room, or how hot it is, how you breathe at night, what sleep position are you spending your night in. There are so many other factors that can affect your sleep, and that's actually what we are helping people to find out in Wesper.
Before we talk about Wesper, there are variables, like you said, physiological ones. So I'm assuming aging, seniors, for example, don't sleep as long or as well as younger people. Is that true?
Yeah, that's correct. And we see, so obviously some physiological changes that occur as we age. I can give you like a simple example that is somehow related to sleep apnea, but your muscles are getting a little bit weaker as you age, and sometimes your tongue is actually falling during your sleep and block your airways, which can increase the probability of having sleeping disorders and breathing disorder during sleep. This is one like example of how aging can affect your sleep quality. Another type of physiological factor is weight. Right. And again, talking about breathing. So people with large neck circumference can also be affected from sleep apnea because their airways is being shrunk because of the physiological stress. And yeah, so these are like a couple of examples that can affect.
I did read that obesity is linked to sleep apnea and other issues where you may go to a CPAP machine. What you consume, caffeine, alcohol late at night. For example, I know with alcohol, you may fall asleep faster, but you won't have as good of a full night's sleep. You may wake up,
that's correct,
like an hour or two later, right? So there's clearly lots of factors. So that leads me to Wesper. It's Wesper. Please tell us all about it. What is it exactly?
So Wesper is basically a sleep lab shrunk into a patch, and we are working with a couple of patches connected to the phone and sending all the information to a sleep specialist. So basically, Wesper is a platform that combines easy access for people who want to improve their sleep with medical-grade data that we can collect and provide, and especially support. So we are not only tracking your sleep, we're actually helping you treat it, and that's part of the uniqueness of the system.
So speaking of uniqueness, I have written about sleep-related apps before and wearable devices and even some bedside companions like on your night table that can, they claim to analyze how well you sleep and tell you if you woke up when and for how long, and you can share that information with the physician and all that. So what would you say makes Wesper different? Is it the fact that it's a wearable patch that wirelessly communicates with a smart device?
I think that compared with other sleep trackers that are out there, we see two major areas of difference. One is the accuracy and the quality of the data, the breadth of information that we provide. So we collect unique information that no other wearable in this form factor collects. With two lightweight wearable patches, you can think about it as like simple stickers that are very flexible and easy to use. We can collect information about your sleep position that no one else does. We are collecting information about your breathing quality and respiration. We also detect snoring and provide you with your snoring sample in the morning, so you can actually hear and believe that it was you. And we combine all these together into a very comprehensive report that we show the users right in the morning.
We're just going to have to put a pin in it for a moment, Dr. Amir, because I know there's more to Wesper that we're going to cover after this short break. There are literally tens of millions of Americans, as you heard, who suffer from poor sleep, whether it's falling asleep, staying asleep. So Wesper has a more unique approach than some other sleep-based technology out there, like smartwatches and apps and a few bedside alarms that have sensors and all that. So we're going to learn more about Wesper when we return. You are listening to Tech It Out. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Dr. Amir Reuveni about Wesper sleep kits. Before the break, you were telling us about some of the differences between Wesper and other sleep technologies. The first step is ordering those sensors that you wear, talks to your smartphone, and please do continue from that thought.
Sure. The next step which is very important, is we allow you to connect with one of our sleep specialists to walk you through your sleep report and recommend some items for improvement. So this communication with the sleep specialist that reviews your data, walks you through this, and really explains what you see in the data. We think that this is critical, and we think it's based on customers' feedback and users' feedback. But the combination of highly accurate wearable basically medical grade data with a sleep specialist support is something that no other platform actually has today. And by providing it to consumers in a very easy fashion, you can purchase it online. We make basically sleep health easier for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of data, what's your success rate like from those who have used Wesper? Do you know that kind of information yet?
So we are comparing our data to the highest standard. So we've done a couple of studies in the past comparing our signals to the gold standard, to polysomnography, the sleep lab.
Yeah, that's like a sleep clinic, like where you would go and spend the night.
Yeah, with all the wires and everything. Yeah. So we basically compare, the patch's performance to polysomnography in detecting apneic events with people, and we saw 98% correlation between the results that were derived from our signal to the ones that were derived from the polysomnography from the sleep lab, which gives us a lot of confidence in our ability to detect and report issues with your breathing during the night.
Okay, great. Now talk to us about how the retesting and shipping and returns work.
So when you subscribe to Wesper, you actually get a plan for either 90 days or 1 year to improve your sleep. And part of it is, immediately after the test, you get the sleep report and you can schedule a consultation with a sleep specialist. But another important step is that you get an action plan personalized to you based on your report and the data that we share with us that can help you improve your sleep. You can actually measure your progress as your treatment progresses as well, and then quantify your improvement. So this is a very important piece in the treatment, the way we see it. And we basically sponsor all this mechanism of sending us the kits and shipping it back to you. So you don't need to worry about it. You just ship us back the kit. We send you a new one for free.
Just before we wrap up, I just wanted to clarify, Dr. Amir, the process. So these are not disposable sensors. You do send them back to you, and that they are properly sanitized before they go out to the next person.
Sure, we are recycling those sensors. Basically, this is why we want you to ship us back the kits, and we are sending you a new one. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And then if it's recommended that you need, for example, a CPAP machine, which I think are very popular today, do you connect the customer with a place to purchase that? Do you take a cut of that? What's the revenue model here?
So at this point, the device that we're selling is not FDA cleared. So based on the data, we cannot prescribe CPAP yet. Okay. If we see if consumer sees any reason to consult with the medical provider, then they can connect to a sleep physician and get a prescription for CPAP. We can definitely help connecting to our network in this case, but just based on the data from the device, the CPAP or any medical advice is not yet possible.
I understand. And then how much does the Wesper Sleep Kit cost, the whole process?
So we're currently offering a 3-month program for $199. This is a promotion for our soft launch. And we also have an annual plan for $240 that you can basically get free retests, free sleep specialist access. You can email or text message them at any point, and a personalized sleep improvement plan that can basically go with you until you get better.
Yeah, it sounds relatively affordable for what you may get out of this. Better night's sleep can improve your physical health, your mental health. So it's been great chatting with you. What's the best website, Dr. Amir?
So it's wesper.co. wesper.co.
Dr. Amir Reuveni, it's been great chatting with you. Wesper.co to learn more. Thank you once again. Take care.
Thanks so much, Mark.
And thank you to the listeners for tuning in to another episode of Tech It Out. I hope you enjoyed it. This show is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning ExpertBooks, those professional-grade laptops that we heard about earlier in the program. Head over to asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Catch up with you next time on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.